golf. He wants to golf. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, this dude's golfing.
I was listening to drum stuff before
What were you
you called
listening?
me.
What were you listening to?
Some dude that was playing the what he called the 20 top riffs of all time or something like that.
What was number one?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
What'd you get to?
I got to like 11, and he was on "Fool in the Rain" by Led Zeppelin.
Ooh, what was the?
So
What was there any underrated ones on there?
not really. Tom Sawyer. I didn't. I think that's easy. I don't know why you picked that one to be honest with you, but he was just doing like the beginning riffs of everything, not even like the whole song.
Oh,
So,
I got you.
but the "Fool in the Rain" one is a good one. I like that's a good shuffle beat. But so I don't know what number one is. I got a feeling it's probably something like "When the Levee Breaks" or something by Led Zeppelin because he did "Hot for Teacher" was like 14, and I'm like, okay,
Okay,
all right, all
okay,
right, all
whatever.
right,
Everyone's got
all
their own
right.
opinions, right?
That's right, sir.
Love it, Dad. I gotta start.
Yo,
I gotta start right off the bat, guys. We're back for another bonus episode of March Madness with the Petersons. We didn't call it that
yep.
last time, but we just did this time. You're wearing your Houston shirt again, Dad. What's going on?
It's just what I wear at night, man.
Man, did
It's
you
just a sit around the house shirt.
did you jinx the Vols?
No, I did not jinx the balls.
Okay, okay. I'm just checking because last time we got on, you were wearing the Houston shirt.
I know,
Now
but
you're
no,
wearing the Houston shirt.
it
So
just
let's
happens to be the shirt I'm wearing.
so let's just jump right to it. You don't have Houston winning at all, do you?
Balls, Houston? No, I had UTU beating them.
Yeah, and I figured you did. So
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
you're lucky we have family in Houston, or I would have to call you out a little bit more.
yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
love it. So we talked Sweet 16. We are
Mhm.
down to the final four. The Elite Eight was this last weekend, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Good games. Good. Well, depending upon what
Uh,
games you watched.
yeah. The funny thing is like a couple of them were 20-point stomps, and then the other ones were like 2-point games. So
Yeah,
it was kind of like one or the other. But
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. What? Let's get right to it. What stood out? You
but
watched them all, right?
I did.
Let's go Duke, Alabama
Duke,
first.
Alabama. Duke is well, they were always the real deal, but they are good.
Man, they're good.
They're just flat out good.
They're
They
solid.
held, yeah, they are. What I enjoy most about Duke this year, and I think we talked about it a little bit on the Elite Eight or Sweet 16 broadcast, is how well they play defense. They play
Yeah.
real defense. It's not fake defense to sort of stop guys and then go for blocks and then
Yeah.
nobody rebounds. It's real freaking
Yep.
defense, and
They.
it's enjoyable to watch. And then they score too. I mean,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
but going off their defense, they push the guys to where they need to push them. They have the help where they need the help. There's great rotation. They got big guys down low that can block shots. Cooper Flags all over the place. They
and that
rebound.
man,
They
yeah,
rebound
yeah,
like crazy. So yeah,
yeah,
they are very 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 good
yeah.
defensively. They are fourth right now. They're ranked four out of the four teams left in defensive efficiency, and the team they're actually going to be playing next is Houston, is ranked one. But
Yeah,
I
Houston's
have
number
some
one.
theories. I have some theories on why they're number one, and we can get into that. Let's continue with Duke. Offensively, they can score, like you said. They have so many
Yeah,
weapons.
and they make really good decisions. And what are they starting? Three freshmen?
Yeah, three freshmen,
Or are they
and then
starting
now
four freshmen?
no three freshmen, and then one of their
How
other
old is that Gibbons kid? How old is the?
the
Isn't it Gibbons or
yeah
something like
their
that?
guard that looks like a
Yeah, the other.
linebacker.
Yes,
Yeah, he's a freshman.
he's he's a freshman too. Well, that's four freshmen if he's on the floor.
Cooper, Gibbons,
Malash, Cooper,
Malash,
Proctor's only a freshman.
No, Proctor is not a freshman.
He's a sophomore.
Proctor's a junior. He's been there for 3 years.
No,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
really? Okay, I
Knuppel.
got you.
Yeah, there's three.
Oh
Knuppel.
yeah, Knoepel. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
guy.
then isn't there backup center who comes in
Yeah.
for Malash? Isn't he a freshman too? That Gumba or whatever?
Yes, he is another freshman. I don't know if you're getting their last names right. I'm kind of blanking right now on their last names, but
Yeah,
yeah, they bring
yeah,
in some dudes and they can rotate everyone through. For them to only give up 65 points to Alabama was unreal.
Yes, that was going to be my next point, and
They
you brought it up.
literally didn't let Alabama do anything that they wanted to
No,
do.
correct. And it wasn't as if Alabama, you know, just had wide open looks and was throwing bricks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were really good, and one of the best examples of that was basically one of the last possessions that Bama had that they could have stayed in it. I think they were sort of close, or it was always a 10-point game or so.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'll remember it, Cooper Flag got switched on Mark Sears.
The point guard.
Yeah,
The
and
fast kid.
Sears tried to take him like twice
Yeah.
off the dribble,
Oh,
and
I do remember that. Yep.
he literally ran into Cooper's chest both times. I mean, it was
Yep.
great freaking
No,
defense.
you're right. I do remember
I
that
mean,
because it was like he body
yeah,
bumped him and he stopped him.
yeah,
His hands were up, and then he went at
yeah,
him again. Same exact thing. Body bumped him. His hands were up.
yeah,
Great defensive positioning.
yeah.
It's
And Proctor can
honestly, I
defend.
think
I mean,
it's theirs to lose. If Proctor, Knuppel, Cooper can continue to get their 18 to 20, and then their other guys just do what they need to do, I think it's theirs to lose at this point.
yeah. I mean, do you want to jump into the Houston game?
Yeah, and here's my point on Houston. They're number one in defensive rating right now, and I was talking with a friend about this yesterday, and I actually asked him if he wanted to be a guest on the podcast tonight because Matt and Trevor, we miss you guys. I know you guys are busy. They're doing something, so I asked him, and we talked about it. It's not good, quote unquote, good defense from Houston. It is so handsy, touchy,
Oh,
grabby,
oh, oh, yeah, absolutely.
hip screens, all this other stuff, and you're just sitting
Oh,
there,
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
huh? How are they getting away with that, or where are the refs when it comes
yeah,
to calling things like that the rest of the tournament? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's what I said the other night about Houston. That's
Yeah, I
how
know you
they play
did.
defense. Yeah, and yeah,
I didn't.
I
I
agree.
haven't
They
seen
they
them all
really
year.
try to manhandle you. Oh,
I haven't
really?
seen them
Okay,
all
yeah,
year, so that was the first time, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch for that. And
yeah.
yeah, they tried to really force some things. Their one shooter was hot. I can't remember his name.
Sharp, I think was
Sharp.
his name. Yeah, he made three in a row late, and because we had, I'll say we had a shot. In fact, we got it to nine, I think.
Tennessee is we guys, but yes,
Yeah,
we did get it to 9.
we got it to nine with like 4 minutes left. It was like, okay, this could turn
Yeah,
into something. And then that kid made
3 in a
three
row.
bombs,
Yep.
though. They
Yeah.
weren't. It wasn't like they were just sitting there. He was, a toe on the line.
No, they were
Those
long.
they were long.
They were long.
Yeah.
They are very long athletic wise too.
Well, that's the
They
thing too.
all their
They're
wingspans, at
yeah,
least the one of the announcers said this, are all 7 feet long, which
yeah.
I don't think is going to give Duke any issues. It might prevent them for taking some of the shots they take, but Duke gets downhill. They go north and south. Like they're very good at still getting to the rim and doing what they need to do.
The deal of that game is that Malosh kid, the Malosh kid in Gumba, because I think that's his, those two guys. I think are going to hold their own. They're going to get
Yeah.
rebounds and they're going to contest. I want to know their guards will be able to guard. I think Proctor pretty good
Hmm.
and the Gibbons kid pretty good. I want to know who's guarding Flag and Knuppel.
Yeah, but no one's really been able to guard them all year
That's my
across the
point.
country.
That's my point. I want to know who good old Calvin Sampson's going to put on him. Because if they put somebody smaller on either of those guys, Flag will definitely go in the post and take him down there.
Yeah, he's
And
6'9".
if they put on, and actually Tennessee sort of exposed their bigs. If their bigs come out, they don't guard very well.
True.
They don't. I mean, so if they switched up, if they don't guard very well, I mean, we took that Roberts kid off the dribble a few times in the second half. They
Yeah.
played like horse shit in the first half.
Yeah, first half was
But
bad.
that was the game.
Oh, I
If
know.
they play, so anyway, I'm just thinking to myself, who's Houston gonna play? Who's gonna guard those two guys consistently all night? And then if you leave them, then that means Proctor and the Gibbons kid is gonna get his shots.
Yeah.
And
They
I don't know.
they get
Yeah,
panicky. They get panicky when they have to do a lot of rotation or scrambling kind of like
Houston.
that panic run around defense, and
Yeah,
Duke
I agree.
moves the ball. So
If UT would have played at all in the first half, I mean, if they'd have played average
even if they would have made
in the first half,
4 threes out of the
I mean,
14 that they took.
yeah, yeah. If you'd have made, just an average amount, if you'd have been within 6 or 8
Yeah.
in the first half, you might not have won, but it'd have been a really
Oh,
good game. Because I think we out rebounded them in the second half.
Yeah.
I think we shot. Yeah, I mean we beat them in the second half.
Yeah.
It's just they couldn't come back from it.
Duke Houston's
So,
going to be a
anyway.
good one. I think we both have Duke. Let's jump right into Tennessee Houston since we're talking about that. That was another big one that we were both going to watch. They had to have their worst shooting performance in like 2 years.
Besides the Florida game this year,
they had one earlier this year, but 1 for 14 from behind the arc, and it wasn't from a player's standpoint playing the game, and it doesn't look like they were trying to adjust their shots. Like everything was short. Like, okay, step in a little bit. They had open looks. It's not like Houston was bagging them on the outside too much, but they couldn't. They literally couldn't make open looks.
No, they couldn't. The first couple shots, the first couple threes, I think were sort of forced.
Yes.
Maybe a little nerves. However, you're right, Taylor. After that, it was we got some UT got some very good looks. What stuck there too was when Houston missed, and they missed a bunch in the first half. We couldn't get a rebound.
Couldn't get a rebound to save their lives.
No,
and when they did
in the second half, it worked.
And when they did, instantly they were looking to pass it out to get another 3. Did you notice that? There was was no rebound. Let's see if we go up. Let's see if we can draw a foul. Let's see if we can make a layup. Let's see if we can change like the pace of the game and get some calls and get some things going our way. They just wanted to turn, look for another 3, and fire. I'm like, what the heck? So that kind of shocked me a little bit. But they did that in the SEC championship game too. They came out firing and they missed like their first 4 threes, and then they got rolling like normal.
And they got going.
But that's a horrible time to not shoot the ball.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I didn't read anything down here. I mean, how people panic, people go crazy on crap like this. I'm sure there are people that are calling for Barnes's head down here, which is kind of funny.
Why?
Because, before he showed up 10 years ago, UT was a non-entity.
Yeah, I know. That's why I jumped on the bandwagon.
In basketball, and he shows up and literally turns it around. This is what, the fourth or fifth Sweet 16.
Yeah, and second Elite 8.
In 10 years. And the second Elite 8.
Yeah. Because they were all playing for him to make it to the Final Four because he hasn't. Well, he did with Texas, like we said.
But yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You don't think the Gophers would take that? I mean, seriously.
No, any team would take that.
I know.
Well, any team should take that.
I love the people who just freak out that, get rid of Barnes, this, that, and the other. You can't coach. It's like, okay.
But it's one of those things. It's one of those things too. They just had a completely off 20 minutes. They were off, and then in the second half,
they got too far behind and couldn't do it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, and that's how college basketball works, especially at that level. If you literally lay eggs, there's a very, 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 very small chance that you're coming back, unless Houston does the same thing in the second half, and you guys just go on an absolute heater.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So yeah, there's really not much else to talk about that game. So
no,
it sucks. We'll see if they can reload next year, see what happens, see who enters, see who stays, see who is coming in. Do you have any details on what's going on?
Yeah, I do. They lose a lot. They lose.
Yeah, they have 3 seniors, 4 seniors.
Katie, 5 or 6 maybe.
Oh, wow.
They lose Lanier, Milicic, who are the 2 transfers.
Yep.
Zakai, the point guard, Meshack, Gainey.
I got some stuff to say about Gainey when you finish this comment.
Yeah. I might be missing one, but those are the big 5.
Those are the 5 that play.
Those are the big 5. But he just pulled a 4 or 5-star point guard that everybody wanted, who's coming in as a freshman.
Nice.
He's got 2 freshman wings coming in, both, 6'6", 6'7", long, can shoot, that whole thing. He's got a straight up 6'9" or 6'10" post player coming in out of South Carolina.
Transfer
like the best player,
or freshman?
Freshman.
Oh, so he's not going through the portal to find some people.
Oh, he will.
I
He
know he
will.
will, but
I haven't heard anything about the portal because they've been playing, and
yeah,
who knows. But so he's got four legitimate 4 or 5 star freshmen coming in,
nice.
who, and then you still got Cade Phillips, who I think is going to be a scorer next year,
Yep,
the white kid.
yep,
JP Estrella was out all year
yep.
with a foot injury, and he played way more than Phillips as a freshman. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You're going to have two legitimate guys coming back and get in the post who can run and score and do their thing. Because I think Phillips he knew his role this year. His role was to block shots, play defense,
yeah.
and get rebounds. Next year, I got a feeling he's going to be putting up some more shots. And when he did shoot it, he looked pretty good this year. So
They need to. The only criticism I have about Tennessee now watching a lot of their games is they live and die by the three. All year they were extremely hot. There's not much in and out play unless they really had to expose a team and they had the opportunity to go in there. You've watched way more games than I have. Would you agree with that?
yeah, they had no they relied on the three in the mid range
Yeah.
and then the
And then
lob, so to
and
speak.
then their defense. Their defense was really
Oh,
good all year. It
their
was a
defense,
suffocating
yeah,
defense, but
yeah, and that's
Gainey.
never going to change. That's never going to change.
No, wait, I know that's how Barnes plays. What happened with
Yeah,
Gainey? Gainey got hot there in the second half. They took him out. He came back in and he didn't shoot another shot. He didn't want to go to the rim.
yep,
He didn't want to shoot. It's not like they were really getting up on him, but he was the
yeah. I
one
don't
that was
know.
keeping him in it, like in that
Yeah,
16 to 14 minute mark of the second half.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was very shocked, and he was a tough player. So well,
Maybe he didn't think he had a tank because he's normally out of all those guys, he's the most consistently aggressive,
yeah,
like to the rim. That kid's a scorer.
yeah, I know,
Chaz is a shooter. Lanier's a shooter. Even if it's mid range and three, he's a shooter. You know,
yeah,
and I give Ziegler, even though he's 5'9", he's kind of a scorer. He can kind of do both. But that Gainey is a flat out scorer. He can take contact. He can go to the rim and go left to right handed. He can shoot the mid range.
and
He can shoot the runner. I mean, he
and
can
he
shoot a
did that.
three.
He did that for a
Yeah,
4.5 minute stretch, 3.5 minute stretch,
yeah,
and then he stopped.
yeah,
I'm like, man,
yeah,
if you're hot, and your teammates should realize that, but it is what it is. So
yeah.
Houston moved on.
Hello.
They're gonna be playing Duke. Let's go to the
Yep.
other side. Auburn played Michigan State. I did not watch any of that game.
Auburn is
Too
just flat
big,
out better.
too
Yeah,
fast, too okay.
flat out better. That Broom kid had one of his games. He
He
had like
did.
29 and 12 and
He also got hurt though, I saw.
ankle and elbow, but he came back in.
Yeah, and I heard the injury was kind of nasty. Did you watch it? You remember how we talked about Cooper's ankle that you didn't want to watch? Did you see
Yeah,
that one?
I did not see it. I did not see it. The ankle wasn't the problem. It was the hyperextended elbow.
Yeah, when he
When he
came back
tried,
in.
when he tried to like hold himself up,
Yeah.
when he tried to, he was dragging it. He was dragging that right arm hard.
Well, yeah, because your elbow only hyperextends up to 5 to 8 degrees,
Yeah.
and
But I guess they took X-rays. I did hear him say they took X-rays on both of them, and
yeah,
nothing was wrong. But he
he came back in and just
Auburn was,
drained a three afterwards. I saw
yeah,
that highlight.
yeah, I know, yeah. And I know, Cooper Flag's the best player in America. I don't care what anybody says, but
Well,
he is what
all
he
the
is what he
awards,
is.
all the awards he got too, just show that
Yeah,
everyone else thinks that and he's the best player in America. So Auburn handled them most of the time because it ended
yeah, yeah.
70 to 64 was the final score. So
Oh, that was okay.
for
I see
someone
that.
not watching it, I would have thought, oh, okay, that was a pretty good game, but Auburn had control.
Yes, I if I remember right. I mean, I didn't watch it just sitting on the couch and religiously, but I
Yeah.
watched. It was on and I was watching. So I would say Auburn got up quick. I mean, I think they got out to like a 17-4 lead or something like
Okay.
that. And then Michigan State came back doing their thing. And if down the stretch, the Akers, I think is it Akers for Michigan State?
I think so. Don't quote me on
Lefty,
that.
but he hit a couple threes late in the game to get them kind of back into that 9 point range.
Yeah,
So it really never was out of reach. Although I'm okay. Everybody knows this now in this podcast. I'm not an Auburn guy.
I
I
know.
don't like Bruce Pearl.
He was
I
a
don't like
ten.
the way he coaches.
But he was there before Barnes at Tennessee, right? Is that who he replaced? Is that who Rick Barnes
No,
replaced?
there was another person after Bruce because he was doing all the stuff that they do now when you couldn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, Matt made a comment.
So
I don't know if he made it on the podcast or if he just made it when the mics are off. But he was talking about how Rick Pitino was just ahead of his time doing things that everyone's allowed to do now. And I'm like,
well,
yeah,
same
you
with
are completely
yeah.
right. He got punished at Louisville for literally doing what everyone does now. So
It's the same with Coach Cal, man. You can't tell me that he wasn't doing all that shit at Kentucky and stuff either.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah,
but no. So Auburn, they basically they handled them the whole time pretty much. I mean, I think that Broom kid had 20. It was like 29, 12, and 6 or something. I
yeah.
mean,
That's a
he had one of his games.
that's a
So
good that's a good that's a good game.
yeah,
Let's move on to
yeah.
the next one. So who was the last game? It was. Why am I blanking on this?
Texas Tech played somebody, didn't they?
Texas Tech played Florida.
Yeah, and gave
Texas
him a
Tech
run.
played Florida. And gave, yes, they did. They gave them a run, but you cannot count out that SEC Player of the Year, All American. No, he wasn't SEC Player of the Year. Didn't one of the Tennessee guys get it?
Broom won it.
Broom
Broom
won it.
Broom won the SEC Player of the Year.
He was on my
You talking about that Clayton Jr. kid?
Clayton Jr. Yes, he was on my
Yeah,
players to watch.
yeah, he's good.
Dude went off in the last 3 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Hit two
yeah,
huge threes, and then after
yeah,
that it was all right, game over.
and that's his deal. He's clutch. He
Yeah,
really truly is. But I think Florida has shown. Do you want to talk Florida Auburn?
we're talking Florida, Texas Tech. So yeah,
Texas
we're
Tech.
jumping into Florida
We don't need
and
to jump
Texas
real
Tech.
quick. Texas Tech, I think, they just kind of didn't have enough. The three bigs for Florida were too big for him. The Clayton Jr. kid, and yeah,
But
they're
even
just
besides the bigs, they have really really good guards. Florida, yeah,
Florida has just two or three good guards.
Clayton Jr. and I can't
I'm not gonna
remember.
remember their names.
Podcast listeners, it's been a long day. It's been a
I
long day.
should, but yeah. Then they got the Condon kid, and yeah, they're Hulk. That Hulk kid had a great game. Hulk, I think is Hulk. I think that's how you
hmm
pronounce it. He made some big threes. The big kid, I think he's like 6'11". He's 6'10" or
I
6'11".
I actually did watch a lot of that game. We were over at Chip Shots. It's a golf slash pickleball place here in town, and we were over there hanging out with Larry because there was a pool tournament going on, and
Yeah.
we watched that one on the big screen. And Texas Tech was playing very very well. They kind of pissed that one away. Honestly, I
Yes, they
think
did. I do too.
they could have definitely handled that last 3 minutes differently.
Yeah.
And then all of
No,
a
I agree,
sudden,
Taylor.
Clayton Jr. gets an open look, hits one, and then the next player, the play after that, he gets a screen, comes to the corner, hand in his face, drains it. I'm like, yeah, okay, game over.
Yeah. He's been doing that all year. He's clutch. He's a player. He is a good player.
Nice. So
Yeah.
we got
So
Florida Auburn, and we have Duke Houston. Let's go SEC matchup first. Who do you have?
all right. As Taylor would say, all right, podcast. Let me make this perfectly clear. I want both of these teams to lose by 40.
I love it.
Both of them.
So he's
I
picking
would.
the
I
under,
want.
guys. He's picking the under.
I want both the teams to lose. I don't want either of them in the championship. Okay. Now, that being said, I think Auburn wins
Close
because I
game?
think I not really.
No, you
I
think
I
Auburn's gonna
I, I think
push the envelope a little bit?
would you call 6-12 close?
6 to 12 points.
Yeah,
No, I would call 6 to 12 at this stage of the tournament not a close game.
yeah. I think they beat them. I think they beat them. Now, normally, if I think that, although I did do pretty good in the Sweet 16 in the Elite Eight, Bob,
Yes, you
you
did.
got to admit that, right?
Your predictions were good.
Yeah.
They were
Told
spot.
you how they were going to win and everything,
Yeah,
right?
they were
Yeah.
almost spot on.
Yeah. So back to it.
Yeah.
I think Florida has not been exposed because that's the wrong word,
Mm-hmm.
but, they were putting up 90 all year long, too.
Yes.
And in the tournament, have they broke 70? They barely broke
Florida,
70 a couple times. Yeah.
maybe in their
Yeah.
early games, maybe.
Yeah.
And then the Texas
And
Tech game they did. The Texas Tech game they did.
was it a 70 something
It
though?
was like 76,
Okay.
maybe 79, honestly, because by the end
Okay.
of the game with the free throws, it might have been up
Yeah.
closer
But
to
my
80.
my my point there is I again, like you said it already, Taylor, when you get to this stage of the game, it's literally theoretically the top four teams in the country.
It is, and
So
that
you
hasn't
got
happened since 2008.
correct back when they were in San Antonio.
Was it
Yeah.
really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
knew it was the first time since '08 that we have all
Yep.
four
Same,
number one
yep.
seeds in the
Same
tournament.
same place, San Antonio.
Before you continue on
Um,
your thing, everyone was giving Jason Williams, he's an analyst for
yeah.
ESPN, crap that he went chalk, that he picked all number one seeds. Did you see that?
No, I didn't
Yeah,
see
they were
that.
actually giving him crap, but hey, guess who's right now? What
Yeah,
were you saying?
I didn't.
You were on
That's
your
funny.
Auburn, Florida
So,
soapbox. You want
okay,
them to
I
lose
don't
by
like them.
40.
Yeah, I want both of them to lose, but I think Auburn's going to win. And I think because I think they're playing better now. I really do. I think Auburn's back, but they found their groove again.
Yeah.
They found their Auburn whatever again. I don't like it. I don't like Pearl. I think nah, I don't like them at all.
You don't like
But
it, but you have them winning.
I think I think they're going to beat Florida. I think they play better defense. They're going to although Florida's big, they're going to be able to rebound with them. But that Broom kid, I don't know how he doesn't, but he gets 26 a night. I mean,
Yeah,
so
he's a true stretch post player. He plays well
yeah,
down low, and
yeah.
when he needs to shoot it, he shoots it very well at a high
And
percentage
everything's
too.
flat-footed. Have you noticed that, Tay?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, it works, and
Yeah,
it's positioning and little fadeaways, but everything is just like a little bump
yep.
fade. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
He's got
Uh,
that. And by no means am I comparing him to this guy, but he's got that Joker kind of just
a little bit,
move around the court kind of thing, and doop doop doop
yeah.
doop doop doop, and he gets his points.
And those two guards, the Pettiford, or I think it is Pettiford, and Jones for Auburn are going to nullify whatever um, Clayton Jr. and their guard do. I think they're gonna.
Okay,
I think they're gonna kind of play the same. So I think Auburn wins. I
all
think
right.
Auburn's gonna get them. Yep.
I'm actually gonna go opposite.
Florida.
I think Florida's gonna get him.
Okay.
I think Clayton's gonna have a game. I think they've seen that Boone kid enough, or Broom. I think we're all saying his name wrong. I have what's his last name?
It's Shania Broom.
Broom
It's Shania Broom. It's
with an M.
I'm almost. I think so. I'm almost positive.
Deal. I trust you. You're the SEC professional.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think. Well, before I continue, how did Florida handle Auburn in the regular season? Do you remember?
Auburn only lost. Auburn only lost. I think.
They only lost to
Did they lose?
Duke and like one other team.
Yeah, one other game, and I can't. Truthfully, I can't. I don't think
Okay,
it was
they
Florida.
didn't lose to
I
Florida.
can't remember who they got beat by.
Yeah. All right,
I
doesn't
can't
matter.
remember.
I think Florida's going to take them. I think it's going to be a 4-point game. I think Clayton's going to have 25 plus. Their bigs are going to keep Broom to 18 points, and if you can do that and handle everyone else, I think that's a good recipe for a dub. I got Duke and Florida in the national championship.
Yeah, being saying that I want them both to lose, and I'll say it again, I want them both to lose. If Florida does beat them, it wouldn't surprise me. I
Yeah.
mean, the way, like you said, they've got three guys they can run at, the Broom kid, and they can shoot it. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it happened. But
Yeah.
the more I watch Florida play, the more I'm not really a big fan of their coach either. But
I love
That's
it.
just me.
I love it. I jumped the gun a little bit. I said I got Duke over Houston. And we already talked about this a little bit.
We did.
Duke, they're just so good, so solid. They play together. They play as a team. They're playing for each other. I know you can say that about every team, but you can tell they're just like, okay, Proctor's having a bad game. Who's going to step up? Okay, Knupple's in foul trouble. Who's going to step up? You know,
Well, Knuppel won the game for him last. I mean,
last game they
Cooper
did.
had a, yeah, Cooper had a good. I mean, a fine game.
Yeah.
But Knuppel was the guy.
Well, they
If
are.
they don't turn it over, if Houston can't, punch up that defense, and like you said, if the refs
It
don't let them beat the crap out of them,
that game is going to come down to the refs. Unfortunately, I hate to say it,
yeah,
and we're really teasing you guys with this whole all ref sucks thing. But
yeah,
it is gonna come down to, and I'm not saying the refs suck. It's gonna come down to how
I
they
do.
call. I know you do. It's gonna come down to how they call the hands with Houston and
Yeah.
the hip screens and the hip bumps and all that stuff. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Hello, podcasters. Taylor's mother is in Chicago, and normally she's listening to this. I told your mom at the beginning of the year, I hate the way they don't call all those screen and rolls.
Yeah,
It's
you
ridiculous.
made a comment on that on the last podcast, on the last bonus
Yeah.
episode.
It's like you said. That's a good way to put it. Hip screens. It drives me nuts that they let those guys pivot into the guy chasing
Mm-hmm.
and then stick their ass out and
Mm-hmm.
clip them again. I mean, if that's not a moving screen, I don't know what is. I
By
mean, you
visual
literally,
by visual examination, that is the definition of a moving screen.
yeah. I
But
mean, you've hit him once as you set the screen, right?
yeah,
And then you hit him off again
yep.
when you pivot with the screen,
Pivot.
and then you
Pivot.
stick and then and then you stick your ass out
Yeah.
and hit him again while he's chasing.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. They've got to do something about that. They really do.
Houston was setting those like high school girl screens too, where like their elbows are up and out,
Oh yeah,
and their feet were extremely wide. Now I don't know the definition of like a legal screen. I'm guessing it's hip width or a little bit wider.
yeah. You
Protect
can't you
yourself.
can't extend your elbows.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you get taught growing up playing basketball. But man, they're like down there in football position, just like holding one of those
Yeah.
blocker bags, just ready to set a screen. And then they
Yeah.
continue to do the hip bump
Yeah.
with the other roll. I'm like, yeah. So
Next time the boys are all on the podcast, we are going to get into the all refs suck because I'm ready.
all right,
I am ready. And it's every sport. It's not just basketball, but we'll talk about it.
I like it.
We'll talk about it.
I like it. Things speed up a little bit when we get down to 4 teams. That
What do you mean?
podcast, it speeds up a little bit when
yeah.
we only get down to 4 teams.
Yeah, man.
It's
Yeah,
fast.
man. It does.
What?
Yeah, well,
Tell the listeners before we sign off. We might have to get a bonus episode at Grandma's house because the Final Four is on the 5th.
Right. The Final Four is
On
on
a
Adam's wedding.
I know. It's on a Saturday.
So we could either do it the day before or we could do it that night or something. We can
do it.
We can do it
We
Sunday.
can do it Sunday. I have to be back for volleyball by 6:30, which is no problem. But I just realized that there's a wedding that night and there's a Final Four games going on. Honestly, I don't care about the Auburn Florida game.
Yeah.
I really want to somehow watch that Duke game, and I'm gonna
As
make
much-
it happen.
We'll make it happen. As much as I wanted UT to win, and yeah, obviously they didn't. Michelle and I were already going, okay, how are we going to watch the UT Duke game
Yeah,
at Adam's wedding without looking like, a commercial? Hey, what are those two doing?
yeah.
They're watching a basketball game instead of being with the family.
Exactly.
Oh shoot! Oh goodness.
What were you? So you guys were, and this is not basketball related, but I think we've told the podcast listeners about the very, very, very delicious, and I don't even know if it would be underrated, but not a lot of people have tried it. The peanut butter and jelly extravaganza, and you're actually the wrong person to ask because you don't drink any of these kind of beers.
I don't drink them, but I know what everybody else does.
Where did you guys bounce around to this weekend in Knoxville?
Three of us went to Yeehaw. We went to the big Yeehaw brewery,
Which Yeehaw
which
guys is a huge outdoor brewery that does a lot of UT college events. They have baseball games on TV there because don't they have a huge screen?
they got a huge outdoor screen. It's very cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
It is sweet. So you went there. Cool.
Well, and they literally have Yeehaw the Vol lager that they sell at volunteer games.
Oh, they do.
Yeehaw.
It's
Yeah,
from Yeehaw.
yeah,
Is it a light beer?
yeah. It's just a nice American, lager.
It's not as American as the refreshing hams that you
No, of course
could get
not.
here in Minnesota. That there are still plenty of sponsorship opportunities, and if you guys want to reach out and be the only one and the official beer of the podcast, let us know.
Yeah.
But okay, they
Um,
got the Yeehaw Lager, sweet.
we went to Yeehaw and hung out there for a little while. They had a Basset club there that day, so there's like 16 Basset hounds
Oh man,
walking
I've
around.
talked about getting a Basset Hound. Those things are sweet.
Yeah, but so then
Okay.
we walked to Gypsy Circus, which is a big cider company. They're a big sour cider company. They do have beer, but they have their claims. Gypsy Circus's claim to fame are ciders and sour beers.
Yeah. So my right
So, but
my
they had some big pickle festival going on, so
okay.
we didn't fight the line there.
You because I tried to FaceTime you guys at that place and it was packed. You guys were walking
Yeah.
through a mob.
Oh yeah.
And then you made it to Zool, which if you are
Yep.
ever in Knoxville, Tennessee, you need to go to Zool. I think they have two locations. You have to go to the downtown one. Is that the one you guys went to?
That's where they were selling all the stuff.
And you have
Yeah.
to try all of their peanut butter and jelly beers. And when I say peanut butter and jelly and you shake your head or roll your eyes, it tastes exactly like a Smucker's. Whether it's strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, blueberry, mixed berry. They have a peach one that just came out. So we sent the parents on a mission. I sent the parents on a mission to get me a 4-pack of each one. But
Yep.
tell them about this event because it is unreal.
They have it once a year, and they always have their original PB&J mixtape, which is great.
Great.
They always have
That's
that
how
one
it
online.
started.
Yeah, that's how it started. And it just got the reputation of, oh my God, it's peanut butter and jelly in a glass.
Oh, it's so good.
And then last year they had their first like sell off, so to speak. So last year they made like two or three different flavors. They came up with a blackberry, a raspberry, and a strawberry,
Yep. Which were
and the
absolutely
grape.
fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I think the first podcast I was on, Tay, you guys did a taste test.
We might have. Who knows? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
We've
I
been
think you
at it for
did.
a long time. We're seasoned vets now, Dad.
I know. So podcaster, so this year it was all the flavors: grape, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry, and then the new flavor was peach. And then they had also a banana, a banana like beer,
Banana peanut butter. It is called Fit
banana
for the
peanut butter
King.
beer. Yeah,
And we have it here because we have a growler of
yeah,
it. And honestly, we probably
yeah,
should drink that because it's probably
yeah,
maybe not good because I just looked at the can and it says
yeah,
buy now, drink now.
yeah,
And that was earlier this summer that we bought that.
yeah.
So who knows? But
It
yes,
might be a little flat. You guys should probably pop that this weekend. So anyway, so you go there, ladies and gents, and number one, it opens at noon, and the line is literally probably 6 blocks
it
long,
was
something
long.
like
I
that.
think they said at one point it was 8, but yes, continue.
Yeah. When we got in there at 2, we walked up there at 2 o'clock. We still stood in line outside the place for, I bet it was a half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Once you get in the joint, the line goes pretty fast because you can only get so much of each. They're not going to let you buy a million things of each. So everybody gets a chance to buy. But all they do, everybody, they just literally set it up this year, and like I think they had 14 different tellers.
Yep.
You walk up there with a slip of paper because they give you a slip of paper to what you ordered, everything is on pallets in the back, and they just start yelling, 2 strawberries, 3 grape, and
It's like
it goes fast.
It's like a New York deli.
Yeah,
Hey, where the
but
pastrami at? Where the
I should have
pastrami?
taken a picture to show you, Tay, or maybe
Well,
Mom did, but
I saw it on
just
Instagram. I saw the stuff on
the
Instagram.
the picture of the pallets of you know colorful canned beers
Yeah.
back there is crazy.
Yeah,
So anyway,
so
they do it once a year, and they've got to make a
they're
$500,000
they're making more than that.
in one day.
They're making more than that. If there's a very smart individual who can do some quick, simple math, like you're guessing those how many Hershey Kisses are in a little mason jar, you can go on Zool's Instagram and look at all the pallets that they have there. You can do
Oh,
the
sure.
math on the 4 and the 4 and the 8 and however many are in a case. They're making more than $500,000. I bet they're pushing. I bet they're making enough to keep their brewery afloat that year and more.
Oh, I would hope
It's
so.
crazy.
Jesus.
But it's also
I
a
mean,
really
yeah.
popular place that has other really good beers. But this is like
Yeah,
kind of
they've got
what
some pretty
they've
good beers.
become known for. So
Yeah.
no, that was cool.
They're known for their PB&Js,
Yeah.
and they've kind of hit their niche, which is that kind of stuff. They've got a lot
Sours.
of they switch their beers a ton.
Hmm.
Like if you go there one weekend, the next weekend you show up, and like I don't drink any of that stuff. I don't drink the sours and the mixtapes. I'm more of a dark beer guy, and I'll go one week and find a Dunkel or this Czech lager is really good that they have, and then the next weekend it's like nope, none of that stuff's there.
Yeah.
So they make small batches and change it around. So anyway,
I like it. I like it. Well, there you
yeah,
go. There you go, guys. Another
yeah,
bonus episode with Pops coming all the way from Tennessee, Knoxville,
got
Tennessee
it.
to be exact.
All right.
Thanks for coming on again. Really do enjoy these
You're
little
welcome,
quick
Taylor.
ones. I think other people do too. Like, comment, subscribe, share, listen to wherever you find your podcast, and then we're gonna be back. The guys
We'll
will
get
be,
one on Sunday, maybe.
the guys will be back eventually. We have another one with the wives coming out eventually. So we have some things worked up, and I like how we're kind of branching out and doing some different stuff. So
Trev, Matt, thanks for having me.
thanks for listening. Have a good one.
You got it, bud.
Peace.